Hi everyone, so today I have a review of the JuJu Cup Model 4. I have an unboxing video up on the channel and quite a few, I think 4 or 5 comparison videos up, so I'll add a link to those in the description box and somewhere up here in the video. Um, but I'm just going to quickly again show the cup top to bottom, and if you haven't seen those videos before. And I can show you the box because I've held on to it while I was waiting to do the review, and then I'll finally be able to recycle it. Anyway, so this is the box it comes in. The JuJu cup now comes in 4 sizes. Initially, only had the typical, small and large. Now it has, you can see 4 models here. For you that can focus, and you can take a pause and read it if you'd like to. So I have the model 4. See the arrow points on the box here, which is meant to be for a low cervix. So these are the dimensions. I'll include that in the description as well. It is quite a pricey cup, relatively speaking. Especially if you are not in Australia and you have to get it shipped shipped internationally. I bought it with a group of friends, and we were able to, combine the packages and save on shipping. So it's a nice, cute box. It comes with a pamphlet, but I don't really keep those, so I'm actually not sure where it is. And so this is the cup. It's quite a short cup. I just saw the dimensions. It's 50 millimeters from the rim to the bottom of the stem. This is the full stem. I didn't have to trim it at all. Has these really pretty butterfly grips at the bottom here. It has 4 suction release holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, it has a fairly prominent rim in terms of like the design, but the rim is actually, I would say, softer than the body and definitely softer than the base. The area right here is the firmest area of the cup. And if you can see, there's a line delineating like right where the grips are from the rest of the body. Because again, this area here is a little bit firmer. Okay, overall kind of thoughts on the cup. I like it. I tried it one cycle ago. So this recent cycle is my second cycle with the cup, and I'm really glad I tried it a second time because I was really kind of feeling like very on the fence about it. Feeling like maybe I didn't really need to buy another cup, and it didn't really add anything. But my last cycle was honestly one of the most painful periods I've had in years. So I think that kind of really set the tone for the rest of my period, and it just kind of I was kind of uncomfortable and a little bit tender most of that time. Whereas this time I had a very easy, almost no cramps kind of period, and I had a much easier time with the cup. I was able to try a couple different things and figure out what would a lot better. So the first thing I did was I thought I avoided the punch down fold, right? Because if you punch it down and kind of what the technical punch down should be, this is the insertion profile, which is still quite large. So I initially started using the 7-fold. And the problem that I had with this is that how I do a 7-fold is, you fold the cup down, and then I push it in, and I have to rotate it. I kind of like hold onto the base and wriggle it a little bit to get it to open, right? Usually I use 7-fold with softer cups, so I have to kind of manually unfold the cup, and usually that's fine. But the problem with doing that with this cup is that because it's short and wide, I had to kind of push my fingers a little further into my vagina to be able to keep a grip on the cup, 1, and 2, to be able to push the cup open, right? So it required me to be, again, I don't have a problem, putting my fingers in my vagina to open a cup, but because I had to go in a little further, it just was a little bit more uncomfortable, and the cup was wider, so it was a lot harder to manipulate with that fold. What I did this cycle, though, and it made a humongous difference in terms of comfort, was to take the punch down a little bit further. So I punched it on over one of the holes, and instead of stopping here with this profile, I would kind of push one side in and then one side over like this. So I think this might be the tulip fold, and this was a lot better, and it gave me a much smaller insertion profile, and then it elongated the cup enough that I could keep a hold on the base of the cup a little bit lower down, and the cup was able to open up without me having to put my fingers quite as far in, and I didn't have to maneuver quite as much, and therefore it didn't cause as much tenderness. So I would, typical thing, I insert the punch down upside down, so I would go in like this, and then the cup would open up, and I'd be able to keep a grip on the base, make sure it opened up all the way, push it in, and then I was good to go. So once I decided to use that fold, it made it much better, much easier to insert. Removal is okay. The one thing with this is that it is a low cervix cup. First of all, it's a low cervix cup, right? So like, do not use this cup if you are not 100% sure your cervix is low. It is quite short. I usually don't have to reach in far at all to get the base of my cups. I have to reach in, again, a little bit further, but this one, enough that is not difficult, but like, it adds some complexity to removing my cup. So this cup, if the cup is not full, like I used it overnight, this last night here, and I barely bled. There was just some blood like right in the base here where the grips are. And so the cup, there was no weight in the cup, so I had to reach in it, relatively speaking, and that was a little bit of a challenge. And my cervix is very low. This is as far as I need to reach into my vagina to touch my cervix, right? Which is still shorter than the cup. My cervix is really just right there. So I don't normally have to go in very far, but I did have to go in a little bit further to get this out when it's empty. So something to keep in mind. So I have to, bend a little bit harder to get a grip on it. But I still like the cup. I think overall this would that little bit of extra trouble. I say trouble, but it's not really that much of a problem. In terms of capacity, I still think for me this is still not really gonna work on a heavy day. I think the capacity is 23 ml. Yeah. That's pretty typical. I think for a cup that's meant to be on the small low cervix side, but again, because it's wider, my cervix is probably my guess is probably sitting right down in a cup like this. I don't actually get that full capacity, so I do have to change it quite often on a heavy day. And because I have to change it often, I would prefer not to. Like if I'm gonna use a cup on a heavy day, I want to use a cup where I can get that extra half an hour, extra hour or two, just so I don't have to mess around with a cup if I don't have to. But on a moderate and light day, I think this is probably gonna be my go-to because it sits a little bit higher up, which means I can have a bowel movement without taking it up. Sorry, a little bit TMI. But my cervix is low again, and my cups are usually right there. If I bear down even a little bit, the base of the cup is within reach. So usually, if I have to have a bowel movement, I would take my cup out, use the bathroom, and then put the cup back in when I'm done. I don't have to do that with this cup, which is a big deal. So even if I have to, again, TMI, exert some effort, I'm not worried that the cup is going to get dislodged and come out. And that's a big convenience, right? So like if it's a moderate or light day, especially if I'm at home, I'm definitely going to be using this cup. What else do I have to say about it? Oh yes, one last thing. And this actually maybe it doesn't apply as much anymore now that I figured out which fold to use, but I tried to use this when I started spotting. And again, when I spotting, my vagina is more dry than not dry. And it was actually really uncomfortable to try to put this in, but I think that had more to do with the fact that I was still trying to use the 7-fold, which again required me to like just maneuver more and manipulate the cup more and just have to push my fingers further into my vagina. But so I think if I use the punch down fold, I think maybe it's a tulip fold. I should look it up. If I fold the cup more like this instead, then I think I'll be able to use it even not spotting it. So overall, I have to say I'm a big fan. I think my period is overall getting lighter, especially compared to maybe a year or two ago. So it probably will get to a point where I could probably use this on my heaviest day, if it's not that heavy. But overall, I like it a lot. It's gonna be in my rotation, especially for use at home. When I just put a cup in, and I don't have to worry about changing it out because of my schedule or anything like that. When I can just leave it in and let it be. So it is a well-made cup. I will again include links to the unboxing and to any comparison videos I have, so you can get a closer look at some of the construction. I definitely think it'll last several years. So I recommend it. I think it's a good option. If you know for sure you have a low cervix, do not try this if you think your cervix may be medium or high, because you will have a hard time getting it out. Alright, hope that was helpful, and thanks for watching. Bye.